我先讲一下 EOS Nation 刚 Martin 讲的是什么，就是因为我们接下来在1个月后，我们就会有全民公投的这个开始会举行全民公投。那中国区还是有很多持票者，那我们希望他可以参与到这个全民公投的整个过程中。那关于全民公投投票，还有它这个它底层的几个智能合约都已经实现完了。而国外也有几个工具啊，包括 MyEOSkit 啊，包括其他的工具已经对接完了。那我们今天主要这个会议呢是，参加者有很多咱们中国的这个钱包啊，还有不同的开发者。那我们希望说能在你们的工具里面实现对接这个智能合约，能让我们中国更多的这个持币者可以参与到未来1个月之后要发生的这个全民公投。
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Stefan. So let's start with Doc.
Sure. Okay, so basically, EOSIO.forum is a contract that the EOS Canada wrote. Basically, that allows for 2 different things. One is to cast a vote on a proposal. So someone originally creates a proposal, and then anyone can cast a vote on that proposal. The way that the RAM is structured around that, because most people have a question about that, is that the proposer pays RAM. For a proposer, the minimum is somewhere around 370 bytes, plus you pay for the RAM of every character. There's a limit of around 1,000 characters within the title, and every character is another byte. And there's a limit of about 10,000 character within the proposal JSON itself. So it could be upwards of 10.5 kilobytes of RAM to propose, depending on how much you put into the proposal itself.
Okay.
Then once it's out there,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Maybe let Daphne.
对，那个我们现在底层的智能合约是一个叫 EOSIO.forum 的一个智能合约，这个是加拿大节点他们开发的这个智能合约。那它实现了有2个功能，我先讲第一个功能。第一个功能就是能让任何一个人提出一个提案。那他提出这个提案所需要的内存费用呢，是需要这个提出者支付的。然后我刚刚有几个细节没听清楚，但这些细节我相信会在这个 spec 里面会有的。有一个是它的那个标题 character。So the title is 1,000 characters, right?
Yeah, about 1,024 max.
1,024, 1,024个 character. Continue.
And then once the proposal is out there, and which anyone can propose a proposal, that's not limited to BPs or any alliance or anything like that. Anyone can use it. Then anyone can vote on those proposals. To cast a vote costs around 430 bytes of RAM. And then what happens is the proposal itself has an expiry date. So let's say I make a proposal today and the expiry date is in 1 month. After it expires, there's a 3-day window where nothing can happen. It can't accept any more votes and it can't be cleared out of the RAM. And this is a way to make sure that all the tally tools have a chance to have grabbed all the data, done any final verification if need be on the tally. And then the RAM can be cleaned. There's a clean proposal function. And when that gets called, all of the info gets flushed out of RAM. Everyone gets their RAM back.
OK. 另外一个功能呢，就是可以投票，任何一个人都可以发起提案，然后任何看到提案的这个任何持币者都可以用他们的账号对这个提案进行投票。投票的话会需要到430 bytes。这个 is the caster going to pay for their own votes RAM？ 那这个投票的人呢，他就会为自己支付他投票需要的这个内存430个 byte。然后发起任何提案的时候，你可以设置一个这个 expire 的时间，就是什么时候过期。那一旦到了过期的时间的时候呢，会有3天的时间，没有人可以再次投票啊，或者动这个这个提案。原因是因为这个算这个票数的这个工具呢，它是一个链下的工具，它不是一个链上的。那我们 给了3天充足的时间，让任何链下的工具可以对提案统计。3天之后呢，它可以调用把这个提案给删除掉，把整个 RAM 给清空掉。
So it's important to know that this tool is not used just for referendums. It could be used for anything. So if you wanted to integrate this into your own wallet, and then you can have your users vote on, hey, it should be go to this theme for the wallet or that theme for the wallet, you can actually use it for very small inter-community votes. We've used it at EOS Canada to decide on how we wanted to spend, should we buy this piece of art for the office or not, just to test it out. So it's used for anything.
Okay, Josh, if you want to try it on the screen, welcome. You can go ahead. Just telling you this function exists. If you want to try,
share this.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
us.
I can make something. Let me see.
Josh, but the vote can only be yes or no, correct?
So the vote can be anything that you set it up to do. So I've created what's called an EEP, an EOS enhancement proposal, to define a bunch of types.
No, I mean, oh, I see. Right. Is it already implemented?
Well, the form contract itself will accept anything. It's just about how the developer implements it on his UI. So there's 5 or 6 different types that I've defined, and you can have a multi-option poll with up to 256 options.
Got it. Okay. 这个加拿大节点他们实现的这个智能合约呢，它其实不只是可以用来做全民公投，它其实是一个更这个通用的一个投票的一个平台，投票的一个智能合约。其中一个功能就是你可以用来做全民公投，那你也可以把它拿过来实现一些，比如说简单的这个投票功能，yes no 也好，或者是多选项的。这都是可以基于这个智能合约开发出来的。现在 Josh 会去给我们演示一下一些功能。So Josh, you're gonna do a demo?
Well, I don't have one set up, and what I can do is set one up later that you can share.
Yeah.
If you go through on any explore the EOS RCTP contract, you'll see proposals in there that are just people testing it out. So I don't have a demo that I can run right now, but what I can do when someone else is talking, I'll set one up. Oh yeah, Rohan will be able to show something. Yeah. There's also the possibility of not just doing a yes, no type vote or a 1 or 2 type vote. You can even do a multi-select vote. You can have up to 8 options. And what we would do is encode the answer into the binary of the vote value that comes back. So there's 8 options, it's 256 bits. And just so people know, it's a big endian, so it goes from right to left, the ordering of the response, because that'll be important once we have multiple UIs submitting vote values for people.
基本上 Josh 就讲了我刚才讲的，就是它其实是一个通用的一个投票的这个智能合约，你可以基于上面开发出其他的这个投票功能，不仅是限于这个全民公投，多选项、双选项都可以实现。
A couple of other features about the contract that people might want to use is there's also a vote JSON that can be put through. Rohan, I'm not sure if you want to talk about that when you were talking, because I know you guys were trying to integrate that. But basically, the vote JSON allows someone who is voting, so they vote yes on a proposal or no on a proposal, they can actually include a reason or a little description that goes on chain with their vote and says, I'm BPX and I voted yes for this proposal. Here's my reasoning in case anyone wanted to read that.
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine.
Yeah, let's do it when you were demoing. One question is, do we need to stake to vote?
So the calculation of the votes is done by your self-staked amount and any amount that you've staked towards others. So if you borrow a lot of CPU from Chintai, let's say, that does not count towards your stake. It's only something that you have staked towards yourself or that you've staked towards another account. Very similar to how BP voting works. The biggest difference is that if you have a proxy and your proxy votes yes, and you want to vote no, you can vote no and it'll override your proxy. The logic is built into the tally tool that Denny has made. So it's very important that if anyone here is going to build another tally tool, that we have the same logic and math being applied.
它的这个抵押投票的这个票权的计算方式跟给超级节点投票的是基本上一样，除了一点，区别的是什么？就是唯一的区别就是如果你把你的票给了这个代理，然后你的代理选了 yes， 你作为个人你是可以选择 no， 然后你的这个 no 呢是会把你给那个代理的这个票给覆盖掉的，这个是跟超级节点投票唯一的不同。
And then the last function, which is less important for this call, but people should know about in case they wanted to use it as well, is that it works as a forum as well. So I can make a post like in any forum on the internet, and then it has a UUID, so a unique ID to it, and that someone else can now reply to my post. And you can actually start a blog. Someone has already done that called Novusphere. And so you can use the same contract to be used for voting. It can also be used for making an on-chain blog, very similar to how Steam, this whole contract was started by an example that Dan Larimer wrote, and we took that example and expanded on it and made it fit EOS that we believe he just took from Steam.
基于这个智能合约，也可以开发出类似论坛或者像博客这样的一个系统。你发了一个帖子之后，它就有一个 UUID， 别人可以回复这个 UUID， 然后形成一个这个组织结构出来。那也有人通过这个智能合约已经实现了这个链上的论坛的形式了，叫 Novosphere。那这整个代码的这个框架呢，是我记得很早之前，应该是主网上线之后第2周还是第3周的时候，当时我们在 BP 会上 Alex 然后当时 Dan 也在，就 BM 在的时候，Alex 就开始聊起我们需要一个全民公投的工具啊，然后需要一个像论坛的一个工具。当时就Dan 就 BM 就写了一个大概的一个框架代码，然后基于这个框架代码，我们接下来开发到现在这个样子，所以它支持的这个种类还比较多，包括投票，全民公投，也支持这个论坛的这个形式。
So that's basically about it for how the forum itself works and what it does. Everything else, all the math and logic is handled by, right now it's currently handled off-chain by a tally tool. Someone could build an on-chain tally tool if they wanted.
What's the logic? What's the logic handle?
The logic being, if 7 people voted yes and 3 people voted no, how do we actually present that data? Yeah, how do we tally up that data? The forum contract, all it does is get all the info in a structured way onto the chain itself, and the actual tallying and logic of the referendum, is it 10% more yes than no, and so on. That all happens within a tally tool that is built, currently running off-chain, but someone could also build one on-chain. So the forum is very specific to what it does.
那 EOSIO Forum 这个智能合约，它做的事情呢，相对就是一个储存层的事情，它不会做计算啊之类的，它就是把我们每个人提交的proposal 啊，还有谁投谁这些数据给它存起来，这个裸数据存起来。那至于说投了多少票，这一些包括有没有达到提案的这个需要的这个百分比啊之类的，这些都是在链下做的。那这个链下的工具，我们在下一个环节会介绍。那如果你想做，未来你想开发一个也是做链下统计的话，你要了解说这个链下统计到底是怎么做的，也确保说你的这个计算逻辑呢是跟我们现在有的这一份是比较接近的，是一样的。这样的话，这个我们出现的展示层不会有不同。
And that's about it. Unless someone has a specific question for me.
Questions later, please. I would like to go through this. And next one would be Denny. Denny?
什么问题
OK.
大家问题最后一下问，现在按照 schedule。
对，
好 ，OK。
如果有一个问题，你们就写下来。我们4个人以后说了，我们就做很多你们的问题，好吗？
好的，行。Alright， 那我们先继续下去，在最后这个环节一起提问，有20分钟的时间。 Let's move on, Danny.
Yeah, I can share my screen, so I'll get that works. I think everyone can see this. So first, I'm just going to show you the UI that we built. Essentially, this is running the backend. It's using the EOSIO forum and also the tally tool. And then we built the UI to display the data behind the tally tool and the interaction between the EOSIO forum contract. So if you just go to EOSvotes.io, you've probably seen it before. We also have everything open source. So we have both GitHub repos. We can share them as a link after. EOS Tribe built the UI with Generios and a little bit myself. So you can go see how the UI is built. And the tally tool as well is on GitHub. So we can share those links afterwards to make sure. But let's just go through at least the UI portion of it. So again, we have, yeah.
这个 Danny 他是负责研发的部分这个referendum， 我们看到这个 EOSvotes 的 UI， 还有就是主要他贡献的部分是这个我们去算这个票的 tally EOSvotes tally 这个项目。那EOSvotes 它有核心的几个功能，包括我们刚才讲的对接这个智能合约的这部分这个 proxy vote forum referendum 这些基本上都已经实现了，然后也结合了这个 tally 就算票的那个部分。那Danny 就会给我们展示一下 EOSvotes 这一块。
So yeah, right now let's say logged into Scatter. Now there'll be many different UIs. There'll be 10 plus UIs in the future. This is just an example, more of a proof of concept. If you want to dive into the code and see how we did it, it's an example of how the interaction is made. So first, the UI loads the tally. So right now, all of these proposals have, let's say, votes. So you have 163 votes that are cast. The total weight was about 2 million EOS, the expiry date, how many yes and no. So all of this information is actually getting pulled from the tally tool, which we'll see after. Now the user will simply just vote. And then I've already voted yes, but let's say we'll go yes. And I should have scatter popping up. So I vote. And then I've cast my vote on chain. Now I'll close my Telegram. So now that's the EOSIO forum will simply just cast your vote by a particular proposal. And after that, the tally tool will do the calculation on how much you have staked, which proposal you've casted your vote, if you voted yes or no, or the multiple options will be in the future. So this is essentially what the UI stops. It just lets cast the vote, and then after we can move on to the tally portion.
How long is is there a delay?
So right now we are doing a delay because of there's a lot of micro forks, as we all know. So right now we're just doing every 1,000 interval of blocks. So it's roughly about every 8 minutes or so, or every 10 minutes. Yeah. And also we're trying to archive the data so that we can look back in time and do historical graphs and plot graphs. So right now the tally tool is getting calculated roughly about every 1,000 blocks. So this will get updated, in 5 or 10 minutes or so.
Got it. OK. 那 EOSvotes 呢？它其实是一个样例的方式，样例的展示，给大家看一下，就是基于这个智能合约可以开发出什么样的功能。Can you go back?
Oh. Sorry.
那刚才 Danny 他展示的就是一进去这个页面，你可以看到所有的这个公投的项目。点进去哪一个 item 呢？你可以选择说，这个如果你用 Scatter 登录的话，你就可以去投票。你投了 yes， 你也可以换成 no。那投完之后呢，它就是一个链上的操作了。但是下面这个数据，就是说163个 votes 啊，有多少个 EOS， 它不是实时的，因为就像我刚刚讲的，这个计算的这个部分呢是链下做的，而这个链下做呢，它目前有8分钟的延迟，就1000块的延迟，因为 也是主要考虑到2点嘛。第一点就是现在有很多这个 micro fault， 我们出现一些很多小分叉，因为最近主网的一些不稳定的因素。那为了要让这个数据真正已经进入到了不可逆的时候，我们才去做这个计算。那另外一个原因就是它是一个这个链下的操作嘛，那肯定还是会没有这么的实时的。目前来讲是8分钟的时间，那未来他们会想说优化到5分钟的延迟，也就是说每个人投完票之后呢，它会有一定的延迟才会反映到这个上面的这个数据上。
Perfect. So this is the UI. This is like the beautiful part, right? And then we get into the guts of how to build that UI. And at the end of the day, we have a tally, and this publishes every 10 minutes or every 1,000 block interval to an Amazon S3 bucket, which is a really reliable source of data. It's just a JSON blob. And at the bottom, we'll share the link with the EOS tally.
现在看到的这个部分呢，就是我们刚刚看到的是 UI 那个展现层，大家可以就一般用户都会用。
把康那先关了啊。
UI 这个部分。
你那边充体已经关了吧
？So right now, I've tried to define it.
Sorry.
Oh, the question.
Finished. Sorry.
Oh, you haven't finished. Okay.
Yeah. 那我们现在看的是这个计算票这个代码是怎么做的。那实际上它计算完票之后，它就会把票的统计情况呢存在AWS 亚马逊云 S3 服务，它是一个文件储存的这个服务。那它是一个非常稳定的服务啦。那基本上就是每8分钟它就会把这个文件更新一下。那所有的人呢，只要去读这个文件，等于是你就拿到了最新的这个统计的结果了。那至于这个统计怎么做的，Danny 现在要给我们演示。
So right now, because we're publishing everything on S3 bucket, that will be essentially kind of set in stone. So the schema that I'm creating, so we have a tally, we have proposals, we have statistics, and we'll show you one live after. I've tried to add the schema so that way you know what you're expecting from that JSON file. You know, expired at, created at, proposal.json. And these are all the statistics that you can pull from EOSIO forum. However, I've added some statistics that will make any UI make it a little bit easier to display those votes. So right now we have votes and the amount of EOS and the expiry, etc. So that will be in the tally in statistics. Also, every block can be archived back in the future. So if you download a block from the tally tool, you can go and query that block. It will actually not get erased unless we have to change the schema. But you can always go back in time. But if you want the latest tally, you just put latest.json. Or if you want to archive a specific block number, you would put the actual block number.json.
Do you archive every block number then?
So I archive every 1,000.
Every 1,000. I see.
So that's why we're trying to not archive every 10 blocks, because they would just take a lot of space. But every 1,000 is about every 10 minutes. We were originally trying to do maybe every hour. And I think some of the snapshot tools, I think Rohan will be showing that he takes a snapshot or archives at least every 0 UTC. So every 24 hours. That way we can kind of go back in time and look at how the votes were changing over time.
Right. Okay. Can you scroll a little bit, just for the interface part?
The interface?
Yeah, just the schema part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
那这个这个工具算是开发的，我觉得还是比较开发者体验算是做的比较好的。他把这个数据的这个格式的 schema 都已经定义出来了。那这应该是用 TypeScript 的这个写法，基本上就是我们刚才看的那个latest 点 JSON， 就那个存在 S3 上面那个文件，它的这个内容的格式，它这个 schema 长怎么样，基本就是在这个 interface 的定义里面了。那Can you scroll down？ 除了 latest 之外，
maybe
这
we
个
can look at one. Maybe we can look at one. Maybe that'll be easier to.
I want to tell them about the block number first.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe the block number here. This.
Yeah. 那除了这个 latest 之外呢，因为它每1000个 block number， 每1000个 block 都会去做一个 snapshot，所以这所有的过去每1000个的这个历史都存在着，就是除了你有 latest 之外，你要看过去有1000个、过去2000个的所有的，你都可以就是通过上面的这个URL 查到。
Perfect. The other thing too I want to mention with this is ideally the UIs would only use the latest, which is an aggregated result of all of the calculations, the counts, the proxies, self-diluted bandwidth, the voters, the proposals. So you would only really need the tallies mostly. But if you want to know all of the proxies who's voted, you can click the proxies, and then you can actually get an Amazon S3 bucket of all the proxies that have voted. For whatever reason you'd want to have that in your UI, if you wanted to have all of the voters, you can download all the voters specifically. So the tallies is just a summary. It's an aggregation of all of the data that was used to calculate the tally. So if you want to independently verify the tally using just the raw data, you can go and just fetch all the raw data that I'm using. And there isn't any data outside of this, these data sets that I'm using. So essentially all of the information that's required to calculate the tally in its raw form is in these buckets.
Got it. 那这个计数工具，这个计票工具呢，它最终产生的是 tallies 的 latest 的这个 JSON 嘛。那算的这个过程，它从哪一些账号哪一些这个代理得到这些票数呢，你都可以分别从下面这两个 count latest 和 proxies latest 里面拿到。那如果你想要分开验证一下到底这个算出来数字对不对，或者你想看一下到底是哪一些代理投了，你都可以通过这个 latest 或者换成这个 block number 也可以拿到。
Perfect. And the last thing I'm going to show you is some JSON files that hopefully won't hurt your eyes. So let's say this is the EOSIO form. Essentially, it's just a row, a bunch of lists, and these are all the proposals. So you have another test, awesome, then do best toolkit, and it has a proposal.json, a title, a proposer, an expiry date, and when it was created. So those are the metadata that you're pulling from the proposals. Now you also have a vote. So, do you want to? The other thing is a vote. So every time a user casts a vote, they would get loaded into this vote table. Now the voter, builder, Jesta, he voted for proposal.beta test, and then his vote was 1. And we noticed when we mentioned about vote.json or vote_JSON, some people are using it. So right now, vote.json source, Nouveausphere forum, or I think there's not much left, but you can do clever things with the vote.json. Maybe you can put a comment, or you can put whatever you want. It's essentially expandable. So that way, the smart contract doesn't need to be changed. If you want to add more functionality, you could just add a metadata in the vote.json. Right now it's not being used, but it can be used to expand certain features.
Right, let's go back to proposal.
Yep.
那我们现在可以看几个JSON 的样例啊。那这个是关于提案的，这个 JSON 里面包含了所有的提案。那有比如说 expire 什么时候过期，什么时候创建，还有 proposal 的具体的内容，还有它的标题，这些所有的提案你都可以通过这个 JSON 拿到。那我们看一下 votes，let's go take a look at the votes。任何一个投票的他投了任何提案呢，它就会产生一个新的这个 entry。这个 entry 里面大部分内容我觉得都比较直观啊。有一个叫 vote.json 呢是可以拓展的一个JSON 字段。那 比如说有一个例子，就是他写了说从哪儿投的，从 Novosphere 的 forum 投的。这个作为我们如果作为这个嵌入的工具呢，这个部分你可以用来去拓展一些可能 UI 上的展示啊，或者一些 metadata 上面的一些内容的拓展。
So notice that the voters don't actually have staked weight. They just have voter and I voted 0 or voted 1, which is yes and no. So one of the things that the tally does is it actually downloads all of the staked information from the voters from the voting table or their self-delegated bandwidth. And then I aggregate the voting information of each user, how much they have staked, and which votes that they did per which proposal. So that way, Josh, I didn't pick this out. You're the first one. You voted for these 2 proposals. Your stake was this. At the time that this snapshot was created, this user only voted for 1 proposal, and this is a stake, and he's proxied his weight via investing with a difference. So you have all of the information right now that I'm aggregating from the proposals and the actual staked bandwidth. And I'm also doing that with the proxies as well. So we want to know, okay, which proxies are voting for which proposals and what their stakes are. Now we haven't gone to the tally yet. So this is another step interim, right? We've got the kind of step number 2.
All right, let's go to the latest for the votes. Sorry.
The latest.
No, the second tab. Right.
The second, the vote.
Right.
Yeah.
那我们刚看到这个任何投票的人都会产生的一个条目。那上面它 vote 有1、0啊这些，就等于是他投了哪一个嘛。但我们投票是有票权的。那这个票权的计算是怎么来的呢？那当你投完之后呢？他在每1000个 block 就会去把所有的投过票的 account， 他有 stake， 他有抵押多少 EOS， 这个信息给从主网上抓下来，产生一个叫 account 的 latest 这个 ，Can you go back to the latest account latest？ 那这个比如说第一个账户名叫 Josh， 那 Josh 他投了这2个，那他 stake 的是他的份额有多少？都会在这个 JSON 里面 ，proxy 也一样有这样的一个 JSON。那通过这2个数据结合他投了哪一个，那我们就可以算出最后 tally 的。接下来 Danny 就要给我们展示 tally 那个部分。
Yeah.
Go to tally.
The tally. Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet. But... You want me to talk about this one, or are you?
Let's go ahead with. Yeah, I said we're gonna, with the data we have, this is the tallies, right?
Yeah, and this is the final sort of piece. So now we've got the proposals, we've got the votes, we've got our staked bandwidth, we have which account who have voted with which staked, which proxies. So we have all the relationship, and now it's the final aggregation between all of this information, and then I do summaries and I do sums of all of that information. So that way, when you're downloading the tallies, it's a really small file, maybe like 2 kilobytes, 3 kilobytes worth of information, except it has all the information you want for your final displays and your UIs and your graphs. So let's look at this proposal. I've included the proposal.json in each proposal. That way you have the title, the proposer, the expiry date, the created date. You can create, we were talking about creating unique IDs. So maybe one of the unique ID feature can be blended with the created at. So you would have the timestamp and the proposal name. And those 2 fields can be the unique ID because we can, so now we have, let's say, the statistics. So I've added a few fields to help out determine, how many voters. So votes are the total votes. So let's say 8 people voted, and all of them voted for 1, which is yes. This is not very good. Let's go look at ones that have.
Look at beta test that has the most voters.
Beta test.
And it has a few other things.
Okay, there you go. Oh, this was before when we had that. Okay, let's look at this one. Let's say. So best toolkit. Let's say. We can look at that later. This is a local file that I have. So again, the statistics, you would have votes. 0 would be no, or if you've defined in your proposal.json the options, 0 can mean whatever that option has been defined. If you expand the schema, and then 1 would be yes. So these are how many voters. And in the accounts, this is how much normal users' staked account is, but also divide by 10,000. So divide by 0. So it would be, let's say in EOS, it would be this much in EOS. And then how many proxies? And then staked is the combined weight between the proxies and the accounts. And then I also include the block number, how much the currency supply, if you wanted to divide by, the current active supply. And if we have more yes by 10%, and right now we have not achieved vote participation of above 10%. So that's right now it's false. And it has not sustained any days greater than sustained for 30 days. So, and when that feature is enabled, we'll see, okay, this vote has sustained, 2, 3, and eventually it'd be 30 days, and that would be deemed the proposal that is passed for referendum. Okay. And that sums it up. So hopefully, Defang, maybe you can clean up the rant.
我们刚刚看到的就是几个就在看 tallies， 就我们这个 Danny 刚讲的这个之前呢，我们其实看到的是怎么这些比较组成这个 tally 的数据 ，tally 的所有数据都是从我们刚才看的几个 JSON 里面合成组成的。它也提供了一些，就是它帮我们记好很多账啊，把这个数都算好了。比如说，如果你的钱包去对接的时候，你基本上只要用 tally 就可以了。那我们看到内容里面，我们先从 stats 看起来，不好意思，从最上层看起，就是这是一个大哈希，这个哈希的key 是 proposal 的名字，比如这个 proposal 名叫 best toolkit， 那下面有一个 stats， 就是基本上就是我们刚刚讲的所有的数据，它帮你做好了统计的。votes 里面有多少人投了0，有多少人投了1，那0和1的代表什么意思呢？是可以在 proposal 这上面的这个 proposal 里面有一个叫 proposal JSON 去定义的。你可以把0定成是 yes， 或者把0定成是另外一个这个意思。这是你在你的 proposal 里面可以定的。那这个 votes 里面讲的就是有多少人投过，还有有多少是通过代理投的，有多少是通过自己的账号投的。然后还有就是第二个，我们看到 accounts 0和1，这里就是有多少 stake 的 EOS 投了0，多少 stake 的投了1。这个数字呢，你除1000就可以拿到对应的有多少个 EOS 的这个量在里面。下面这几个都比较 straightforward， 比较直截了当了，我就不解释。有2个可能要再讲一下，一个是 vote participation 第111行，这个就是意思是它有没有这个提案有没有超过10%的EOS 投了，那目前来讲是没有的，所以 false。然后有另外一个113行的 sustain days 是这个超过10%有没有超过有多少天一直都是can you go back sorry
yeah
有多少天是一直都是超过10%的。那一个公投提案呢是必须是超过is it 10% or 15%?
Vote participation 15%.
Okay.
So this is the TypeScript interface. So that I have added more comments, so we can see. Okay. So we have vote for participation 15% among the token holders.
Right.
And
right.
10% more yes than no's, and then sustain for a 30 period day.
Yeah, let's use this. I'll use this to explain.
Yeah, that's why I switched over to. It has a little bit more comments.
Right. 那你可以看到这个 TS 的 interface，其实它有写了一些注释，给我们解释到底这些到底是什么意思。那 vote participation 是有没有超过15%的人投了？刚才我讲错了，应该是要15%的人投，它才会变 yes。然后是不是有这个这个有更多的 yes 相比于 no 的话，那么它就会more yes 就会变成 true。那如果是有更多的 yes 持续一段时间的话，这个 sustain day 就会不断叠加，有多少天它就会叠加到多少数字。连续30天的话，这个公投才会被通过。That's it.
Perfect. I know we've talked a lot, so I know that other people have their turn. But thank you very much to Fang for the translations. And like I said, dig into the code. Everything is open source. Review it. We've done a lot of testing so far internally, but we would love to see other tallies. Try to leverage this logic to replicate the same numbers, so that way, if I'm counting the votes and the total is X, and you also come up with X, that's great. But right now, I think there's only a few people that are running the tallies. Right now, I think this one is the only one that's built out so far. But if other people want to try to recreate that logic, feel free to do so.
那这个 tally 工具呢，是 Danny 做的。那如果你想要做一个类似的工具，你也可以去做。或者你想要去运行这个，做多几个人可以去运行这一份数据，然后我们可以互相比较一下这数据的结果的话，也欢迎你去这么做。
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. I'll stop sharing my screen and then let the next person speak.
Next one is Rohan.
Yeah.
下一个是 EOS Authority 的 Rohan。
Hello, everyone. I can't share my screen yet. Let me just try again. And yes.
Yep.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, great. Yeah, so what I would like to show you next is I was put on the list as to show you an example of a portal. So the team at Canada, Nation, Tribe, they've done an amazing job so far. We have an API, we have all of this, and this is an example of an interface that we put together. It uses the same API, it uses all of everything that was discussed so far, the same smart contract, the APIs, and so on. And this is our version of how we present it to the users. It's available here. Let me paste a link on Zoom chat. It's done. And okay, so essentially what happens is you have this link, you go there, you can choose multiple languages. We have, we let users choose a language. And in our version of the page, we have images. So every referendum and poll can have an image of its own. At the moment, it's all just testing one single image. By default, we sort our results by the most voted. The idea is that anybody can create a proposal. So we expect this page to be filled up with lots of items. We show the proposal with the most votes. That way we kind of make sense. At least hopefully the ones that the community looks at the most is on top. We can have different types, as you know. We can have referendums, we can have polls. Polls can be multiple choice. They can be all kinds of things. Referendum polls are just yes and no, as mentioned earlier. So far, so good. Stefan?
Yeah, let me do a translation.
Yeah, yes.
EOS Authority polls 我们现在展现的也是就是基于我们这个加拿大团队做的这个智能合约上面开发的一个界面。那这个我觉得还比较直观的，他刚才演示的有包括多种语言啊，进来之后可以看到所有列表里面各类提案。我觉得有一些有意思的点呢，就是 比如说我们第一个提案和第二个提案，第一个其实是全民公投提案，第二个它其实只是一个投票的啊，只是一个因为就像我刚刚讲，这个智能合约它支持的种类不同嘛，你可以支持公投，也可以支持多选项的这个投票，在这里它都标志出来了。
Okay, so let me go into a referendum. So this is a referendum with about 2 million EOS votes on test. So if I click on it, I go into the detail page at the moment. This is how we did it. You can do it on a single page anyhow that you want to do it. We show the title there, we show the proposer name, we show the date and so on. We have details here, everything that you saw on the API, how many accounts have voted, how many days since a poll started. We need 15, a referendum requires at least 15% participation. At the moment, we have about 2 million, but it's not enough. It's very low. And then, yeah, so we need, yeah, the lead is pretty good. Lead yes is leading very much. And for a referendum to pass, we need 30 days of yes lead over no. So these are the conditions that has to pass. A poll should have 15% of the votes. The yes should have 10% lead over no for 30 days. So these are the rules for a referendum.
那这个你点进去任何的提案都可以看到，包括投票界面，还有各类的这个数据上的统计，比如说这里你可以看到，有200多万个 EOS 投了，有%多少的人投了 yes， 多少投了 no， 有多少个账号啊，还有已经创建多久？虽然已经投了200多万啊，但是我们刚才讲了是要达到15%的这个总共的token 的数目，才能这个通过。那200万显然是不到1%的，所以现在显示是0。各类数据都会在你点进去提案之后，在 EOS Authority 的这个界面可以看到。
And let me just show you a few more things. So what Josh was talking about earlier, we implemented a feature by which if you want to vote, say for example, I want to vote, yes, I like this proposal. I can post a message here saying, I love this proposal, and then maybe you can have see here, so see here for more details. You can put a link and then all kinds of stuff there if you want to, and then you say yes or no. Along with vote, we then, yeah, so we could have scatter or something come up, and then the post is actually shown on the system essentially. So that's what happens. You can do all kinds of things with the data. So for example, on our system, we have these charts. We have like yes and no. This is a threshold, so no is there. It has to be about 10%. In this case, yes is very high, so this referendum is going to pass if it reaches a threshold and is there for 30 days. On ours, we have like yes and no number of votes. We have no on that side, yes on that side. Let me show you another example, maybe that. So if I pick this one, for example, maybe the yes and no is different. I click on stats. Yeah, so different polls have different, this is more no. You can see somebody's voted no, yes, no, and this is based on the vote size. So there is a big voter who's voting no. And yeah, things like that. You get to dig a little deeper, see all of that. And again, using the API from Dennis, again, you get to see all of this. You get to see which user is voting, which way. You can search. If you cast a vote, you can come here and you can type your account name and see if your vote was recorded correctly and so on. So yeah, so that's how this part works. Yes. Yeah, but so definitely this is just an example. So of what we did with the data.
Yeah, can you scroll up? I want to explain the comment one. 那我们这里看到的就是投 yes 或 no 的时候，你可以附上一个这个评论。那这个评论会存到链上，然后会存到我们刚才有解释的叫 vote JSON 那个字段里面。这个就是我们刚才在看到，在我应该是在投票还是在哪一个地方有看到一个 vote JSON， 这个一会儿反正我们已经录下来了嘛。如果你想看的话，回放一下，有一个专门讲 vote JSON 这个部分。其实你把这个评论提到链上的时候，就是存到那个地方。 在下面的在EOS Authority 它这个界面也做了很多数据的可视化的部分。Can you scroll down？
Yeah.
包括多少人投 yes， 多少人投 no， 还有那些投 yes 的人的持仓，就是他 stake 的这个份额有多少，都在下面的这几个这个图标里面可以看到。That's it.
Okay, great. And one final thing to show you. So far, everything I showed you, along with what the team was talking about earlier, was all about referendum, yes and no. We have the option, it's not done fully yet. You can have different options. You can have multi-select. So for example, where should someone get a tattoo? Should be on the leg, neck, wrist. So you can have multiple options like that. So you select an option and you can have 10 options or 20 options or something like that. And in this case, it's like a single select. You can also have like a multi-select. So you can be like do there and there and there. So stuff like that. And then everything is on the API, as Josh mentioned. There is a way to post on chain. In this case, it will be a binary option. There will be one value going for the vote, but then it will be stored. It's on the API documentation. Essentially, besides referendum being yes and no, here we can have multiple choice or single choice options as well.
Got it. 那我们刚才着重讲的是关于公投的提案的，这个工具也可以做投票，可以做比如多选的投票，也可以这个多选项的投票，也可以同时选多个的，基本上这个 API 都已经提供了，那就是靠我们前端的这 UI 的展示，我们怎么实现。That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So I think that's it. So I've covered the features. Basically what I was showing you was one implementation of all what we can do with the API that's built and the smart contract that we'll have on EOSio.forum essentially. And so that's it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Rohan. So Dafan, you already implemented in my EOS kit the referendum tool, right?
Right. We did that. I'm gonna do a quick demo, and I think the purpose of it is since we already implemented, I think the basic function. If any of the Chinese developer wanted to ask us, since we have first-hand experience and we're in the same time zone, they can always ask us.
That's great.
对，那我现在要展示一下的是我们这边做的，我们这边EOS Asia 做的一个区块浏览器叫 EOS Kit， 那我们也是第一批就支持了全民公投的，那因为我们毕竟也是在这个同一个时区嘛，所以也开发过，所以如果任何这个钱包的厂商，你们在对接的时候有遇到问题，都可以问我们。那这个功能其实，我们刚刚展现的，其实我们这是第三个今天展示的第三个基于EOSioForum 实现的投票的功能，它整个功能呢，其实大体上是差不多的。当你这个登录之后，你就可以开始进行投票了。首页你会看到所有的提案，提案的名称，yes 投了多少人 ，no 投了多少人，这个我们刚才展示过很多次，就不讲了。投的过程也很简单，点 yes 或者 no 就好。那我这里比如试一下点 yes， 你会看到 scatter 弹出来 ，yes， 你看 dx， 我们在这里也做了一点点优化吧，就是如果你去看这个账号的话，他过去投的所有的 referendum 相关的，我们也会特意给它标出来。除了可以投之外，通过 MyEOSKit 你也可以提交一个提案，默认会帮你填上你的名字，然后 propose 的这个 name 是什么？这个是全局全局是这个 unique 的，不能跟其他人有冲突。 然后 title 是什么啊，还有 content，这个是一个 markdown 的形式，所以你可以用这些 markdown 的一个语法，比如说这个是 link 的方式 ，hello， 然后你找。这是 Markdown 的语法，那不熟悉的话可以查一下，它可以让你去做一些，比如说超连接啊，或者字变大之类的。Type 呢，就是用来区分全民公投或者是纯粹一个投票，不同的 sample type 也可以去看一下这个 GitHub repo 里面讲的 expiration time，我们刚刚讲的任何一个提案都可以设一个什么时候这个过期。也就是通过我们这个工具，你就可以提交一个提案。基本上就这样子。我们看过，我们今天展示了多个版本，我们也希望通过这个方式可以给你演示一下，你在你的这个钱包里面，你可以做什么样的内容。然后第一个是 EOSvotes，第二个是 Authority 做的，第三个就是我们开发的 MyEOSKit。That's it.
Great. 那现在有没有人有问题 ？Anybody got questions?
They already have someone ask a question in the chat. They say how to avoid the spam.
So actually, I'll start my video, sorry. The current thinking with spam is that until we as a community decide a way, even if we want to put someone as a gatekeeper to say, yes, this could be proposed, this cannot be proposed, it's currently wide open for anyone to make a proposal. So the thinking with that is on the UI side, UIs can declare not to show any proposals that have less than 1,000 votes maybe, or there's different ways of filtering. Like Rohan said, they're only showing at the top the ones that have the most amount of votes already cast towards it. So there's no way to stop anyone until the community comes together and says, this is how we should stop it. So when building out the contract, we decided not to put any filtering because it was not EOS Canada's decision to say, hey, only BPs can make a proposal or only XYZ account can make a proposal. So we as a community can come together and make that filter. But until we do, it's up to the UIs to filter how they show proposals.
目前没有，就我们刚刚问的是如何防止这个 spam 的问题。回答是，目前这个社区还没有一个共识，就是说到底应用什么样的方式啊？但这个是我们需要讨论的一个点。那在加拿大节点他们开发的时候，他们觉得他们并没有，就它不能代表社区去做这个决定，判断哪一些东西是 spam， 哪些东西不是 spam。
Also on the topic of spam, there is a cost to create proposals. So if you want to create multiple proposals because you want to spam the network, well, you'll just have to buy lots of RAM. So there is a slight cost. So you can't infinitely create millions of proposals unless you have lots of EOS to spend for RAM. So there is some barrier of entry, which will reduce some of the spam.
对，因为创建这个提案呢是需要内存的，所以它其实有一定的成本的。除非它是不计这个成本的方式去 spam 的话，那就是另外一回事了。
Okay. Second question is any person can do a proposal?
Yes. If they spend the RAM.
If they spend. Yeah, anyone can propose. You can only propose with a unique name. So if I want to create a proposal using, Denise proposal, nobody can make a proposal using that name. So that name is unique until it's expired and cleared away.
Can it expire but not get cleared away?
Yeah, I think, Josh, maybe you have to clear it after. So you can have an expired, but you also have to clear it to reuse it.
Before it can be cleared, it needs to pass at least 72 hours. So we know that the state of that proposal will not be changed for a period of time. Also, let's say I make the proposal expiry 1 month from today, and 2 weeks from now, I realize, hey, this proposal is not going to pass, or I don't need this referendum vote anymore. I can actually, as the proposer, I can expire that whenever I want, so I can expire it early. I can
So 72 hours later, you can expire any proposal.
No, 72 hours, you can clean a proposal that is expired. And anyone can do that cleaning process.
So what is so clean, I can do it anytime as a proposer.
As a proposer, I can expire anytime,
right.
Which means this proposal is no longer open.
Got it. 对，我们刚刚问的是什么？任何人都可以发起是吧？
对，下一个是公投有哪些条件发起一条公投？
没有，付了内存就可以发起。
怎么发？
对，所以我觉得可能有一点会很影响的，就是因为公投你必须它其实是一个它有一定的流量成分嘛，对吧？就是你必须看到你才知道有什么哪一些公投，就是可能有这个我觉得可能各家钱包厂商需要给公投一些曝光位置。让这些我们社区一起发起的这些公投能有更多的流量。
And then another thing I want to add is that anyone can add a proposal. In each proposal, they'll have a proposer. So the author will actually have a name. If you want to filter by a particular proposer, you can proposal only filtered by one particular proposer, let's say EOSIO or an authoritative source, and nobody can, if you're not the proposer, you'll never be in that proposer name. So it's sort of a truth, an authoritative source. So if a UI wants to filter by, me as I've logged in, I only want to see my proposals, you could do that.
这也是跟我刚讲的，就是其实钱包或者我们所有的这公投界面，我们是可以去过滤出哪一些东西是希望给大家看到的。那比如说，你可以过滤根据某个账号名，比如说它是 EOSIO 点什么的，可能这个账号是有一定的权威性，这个账号因为那个私钥只有那几个人才有，这个账号发出的。公投应该是有更高的这个权威性的，我们的 UI 可以这么做一个过滤。
Okay. Another question: How to prevent the well holders take control of the referendum?
Well,
they have a lot of votes. I mean,
that's just the nature of DPoS.
That's DPoS. So how to prevent? I think the question is how to encourage them to participate.
Encourage them, yeah. How to encourage them.
I think it's not a technical question. I think it's really something for the ballot craft, but it's something that we need to discuss, like besides the technical implementation of the tools that we're having. So,
can you say again?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that would just that question.
Also to add, I think there. We have a 15% threshold, so not a lot of people have that high. So single-handedly, it's hard, and we have a 10% yes over no. So it'll take, quite a few ways to work together.
对，其实要通过一个公投，需要15%的票投出来，所以这个就我们已知就没有什么人有有办法一个人拿出15%的。所以这个就像 BP 投票了，这个问题。
下一个 ，After you finish the voting, the token on stake will back to their account.
It's the same stake, right?
Yeah, it's using the same mechanism as voting. So you don't have to lock your tokens more into place.
它不是额外的抵押，它就是你投 BP 的，它就是你质押拿到 CPU 和 Net 的那个东西，它不是一个额外的抵押的东西。
And I just want to add also, when Rex comes into play, that your tokens will also go to your voting and the referendum and proposals. So all the mechanism on the system chain. So anything that is staked for voting will count towards this proposal. So Rex, delegating your bandwidth, delegating to others, all of that is that weight for voting.
VP voting pretty much.
It's exactly as the VP voting.
所以它的这个计算方式就是跟 BP 投 BP 的一样，所以未来 Rex 的出现也好，它是兼容的。对的，命令行投票也是一样，就是它跟投票是一模一样的，它的那个计算方法。
If it wants it's possible to vote for separate articles?
Yes.
Yep. You can vote for multiple proposals. You just cannot vote for multiple options on the same one. You can't vote yes and no on the same proposal.
Dimitri, were you trying to ask about separate articles of the Constitution? Was that what you were trying to say, or just separate different proposals?
I mean different articles in the same Constitution. You just vote in for one article.
Depends. It depends on how the proposals are crafted. We could have a whole new Constitution being voted on, or you can have each clause. It depends on whoever makes the proposal.
So it depends from proposer, the person who doing the proposal. It depends from him, right?
Correct. Yeah, they decide how it gets voted on. However, people might say, "Hey, I want to vote for this whole new Constitution. I don't want to vote for individual." So it's a matter of what makes sense for the community to vote on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's clear.
Because theoretically, 20 different people can put up a different Constitution, and none is more in advance of other ones until people start voting. We don't know the answers.
Yeah, but we all understand that a lot of proposals can make a community frustrated, and they will vote for different proposals, and then we cannot get 15 threshold, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be very important for like groups like this, like the Alliance, to say, hey, go look at proposal X, Y, and Z and skip A, B, and C. There's going to have to be some curation going on until things can be filtered, yes.
So we need to play a role of filters for this, I think.
Yeah. I think maybe today we want to focus the discussion around the technical integration side. Maybe we can have another call on the specific.
Yes.
I will schedule a call that goes more in ballot crafting and how we can get, like how we merge constitutions. That's another call. I think important in this call is that we get more and more interfaces using this tool because they have users that use their interface. And that's basically like the bait to try it out and see that it's so much fun to do proposals and referendum. And I think that's a key thing right now. So more questions, please, on how to integrate it. And maybe we can do next week another call when people started using implementing it in the interfaces, if they have any hardships, that we can have only a Q&A on how to solve this. And I'm really thankful, Dafeng, that you already offered some help that people can directly contact.
Okay.
我们今天主要问题还是提相关于这个技术对接的这一层，因为我们今天到场有很多钱包的厂商我们希望通过不同的钱包厂商可以给 referendum 全民公投给更多的曝光，让更多人可以参与进来，所以我们这部分提问的时间就留给技术对接。有没有什么问题？
Most of the questions are in the chat. Myra, are you following that?
Yep, the question in the chat is more about not technical question.
Okay.
So
We're good.
There's the question.
不是这个，我发给你。So the question is which smart contract? Is it producer JSON? No, it's not producer JSON. It's, let me find you. Actually, Josh,
the name of the smart contract?
Yeah. So right now it's EOS Forum RCTP. However, we're also going to be trying to, I don't know how, out of beta phase, ideally it would be on EOSIO.forum as the official once everyone is happy with the beta phase.
现在这个 beta 版是跑的 EOS Forum RCPP， 那我们希望说在这个 beta 实现完之后，我们会把它迁到 EOSIO.forum。
So yeah, currently right now there's a multi-sig proposal between the top VPs to create the EOSIO forum and deploy the smart contract. However, a lot of people right now are reviewing the smart contract and looking at it for thorough before this gets approved.
已经有一个多签提案把它部署到主网，有很多BP 已经在这个代码，然后他们如果同意的时候，把这个多签签完，就可以开始部署到主网，然后就会升级到 EOSIO.forum。我们现在测试的时候，你都可以用 EOSforum RCPP。Any other question？ 还有其他问题吗？
大家要是没有其他问题，我数3、2、1，我们就暂时停止了。
Maybe did everybody see that Denis and the others shared all their GitHubs to access the software? So they can, I don't know if everybody's following the chat, maybe say in Chinese again, that all the links to the GitHubs are in the chat and give people a little...
I think we might want to compile them and then send again in the chat, in the WeChat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. 那我们会这个Alliance 这边做这个事情，对吧？或者组织者 either Martin or Alliance 他们会把这个合约的代码GitHub 的那几个 repo 我们需要关注的这几个连接，一会儿会在微信群里面总结一下发给大家看。
好，我会做，我全部录音过，所以我也有那个chat， 所以我等一下明天发在这微信
，OK，
可以吗？
好，那今天的话大家有点晚了，咱们就收场了。然后再次感谢，
非常感谢，
隆重感谢这4位过来演讲的。
Thanks to Josh, Rohan, Dafeng, Denis for showing us a little bit about the mysteries of referendum, and thanks for all the participants for showing up. Yeah, see you in WeChat.
It's voodoo magic.
Voodoo magic.
I know.
Thank you guys. It's an amazing job. I just was following this call. Is really big job. It's big.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Hey, wonderful. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.